A dreary downpour starts off the Monday. Although it doesn't last for more than an hour, the dark clouds lift after the sun peaks over the horizon. Brief as it is, the rain has significantly dampened the park's usual cheery vibe. Mornings like this often mark the start of another bad week. An arrest gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, and some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like that one time I was dispatched to a scene where a guy gouged his own eyeball out and almost ate it. Was a few chews away from swallowing it, in fact. Lost my dinner that day. Of course, I doubt anything can stop getting cursed by a damn chain letter at all things. This is the sort of stupid thing people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sakes. A ghost chasing after you just puts the icing on that cake. So far, all we've done is run, snoop about, read stuff, and run again. It frustrates me to no end how we're still no longer close to an answer. Even my car reflects that state my mind is in. Photocopies of documents litter every available surface, scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger side into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 24 hours ago. I haven't slept at all, and my last meal was that chocolate porridge thing Isabella offered. The way I am now, I'll definitely get a scolding. Rebecca will definitely give me an earful and tell me to take care of myself better, stay that I'm killing myself on the job. I can already hear Isabella complaining about how dark the bags under my eyes are getting and about how I reek and how I need to shower pronto.
I can rest easy when this is all over.
It's not that I can't feel the pang of hunger. With that, the woman chasing after you, it's difficult not to feel anything other than horror. The rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins and my deepest desperation to survive. In fact, I can still sense the ghost of her touch from last night. Her bony digits wound tightly around my ankle, and that horrid smile she has on her as she pulls me closer. The memory is enough to send a shiver up my spine and make me antsy. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. From my dashboard, sunlight glints off Ophelia's... Oh god, he names the gun too! Ophelia's surface. Normally I keep it hidden in the compartment. Luxburn police regulations only allow authorized people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. I do have that authorization, but I never really saw the need for its use. When standard issue taser are more than good enough for to incapacitate anyone. If not, I can always throw them on their back. Those judo lessons Dad forced me to get as a kid has its uses too. On a ghost, though, all of those will probably yield the same result. They're all useless. I might as well use a stick. However, it's the feeling of ease I'm after, or what little I can gather from it. The awareness that I, at least, have something to protect myself with in case things go wrong. That I can still protect the people who are still dependent on me despite the missteps I've taken. It doesn't take the edge off, though, the feeling that your whole body has been strained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. So am I. My stomach is growling like crazy. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing someone's still depending on me. A stretch is still in order, though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon I step out from my car, closing it behind me with a thud as I take my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air feels crisper and cooler than it has ever in the days. For once, the weather seems to be taking a turn for the normal. Looks more normal. In the distance, beyond the buildings and lining the horizon, dark clouds are blowing in.
Do this evening, give or take.
A shame for the people looking forward to Halloween tonight. I'm not sure whether this is something I can look forward to as well. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale, exhale, breathing in, taking in the peace as it'll be my last. But as with all the good things, the quiet shortly comes to an end. Not necessarily a bad end. The chatter reaches my ears first, halting my movements. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find them. Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella, just as they've entered the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Salem, well, we've elected to stay the night here, unsure if our own homes will still be safe. Knowing we'd all be adverse to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but panic and distress have tainted that decision. Oops. It's not like any of us have gotten an ounce of sleep anyway. On an off chance one of us did, it's only lasted about a second, or it's a fitful one. But looking at them right now, from afar, it's easy to mistake them for just a group of friends on a day out. Isabella's gesturing wildly with her arms as she talks. Something funny or amusing, probably, because it's soon followed by Zach's booming laughter and Rebecca's giggles. Their voice fills the atmosphere with a light, temporarily easing of a disheartening mood. It's easy to pretend we're not knee-deep in a life and death situation the way they're acting now. God, I'm so hungry. If anything, it's only their appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under their eyes, an exhausted curve in their shoulders, and dragging footsteps. But the closer they get, the more obvious their signs are to the naked eye. Zach tosses an energy drink my way the moment the distance allows. Isabella hands me the other bag she's holding, before seating herself on the edge of the fountain. The scent of warm food immediately wafts from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzled over this pork wannabe, it smells heavenly. Hell, even the sorry-looking vegetables seem appetizing. Despite myself, without even checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for them to start. The rest of them appear to be in the same mind, too. Soon enough, they also start with theirs. No casual talk while we fill our empty stomachs, exhausted as well. As we all are, food is something we can't forgo. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the body. If we are to survive this, we're going to have to take care of ourselves first. In a matter of minutes, we're done and dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Nearby waste, not on, in. Although with it is a shift in the mood. Back to dismissal, back to the problem at hand. The comfortable atmosphere from minutes ago was nice while it lasted. Admittedly, I've missed these kind of moments between us. We never had the chance, always busy on some project or worked. The things we've taken for granted, now we're realizing how valuable they are. The world has an awful sense of humor. While the one we've just had is short-lived, is another thing I wanted to look forward to. If we ever free ourselves from this damn curse, I'd like to believe there's a way. For now, we have to focus back on the present. This. Dead people. The letter. The curse. It's not simple to bring these up, but necessary.
What now? Where do we go from here?
It's not a question directed at anyone in particular, but they all look at me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think so, back when I was at the top of my game and I'm still sure of everything. Now there's just uncertainty solving whatever decision I come up with. At some point, logic has simply stopped working here and we've started grasping at straws. Along with exhaustion, fatigue, and stress, we have enough kindling to get a fire burning. A not so pleasant kind of fire.
Well, first, we can't just stay here. That much is obvious.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Becca. Sooner or later, she'll...
As if we have a choice. We can't even go back to our own homes because that thing might get us. No, we're safe. But dying is the last thing I want to do right now, Isabella. Not to a stupid chain letter you were too gullible to pick up, bring with you, and show to everyone.
No, she did not. That was Ashton grabbing it from her and showing it to all of you.
I didn't do it on purpose. Becca, had I known, I wouldn't have...
Hey, you two. None of us want to die to this. Just calm down. We ain't getting anywhere shouting at each other.
Whose side are you on, Zachary?
No one's. But we can't just say it's her fault. She did warn us not to open it, and both you and Ashton...
That doesn't exempt her from any blame. She's still largely responsible for it.
And you're not?
I didn't say that! Do you really think I don't blame myself for this as well?
I tried to warn all of you. None of you listened. Now you're blaming me for something I kept telling you guys since day one? You're just as responsible for this as I am.
So now you're throwing it back at us? We wouldn't even be having this problem if you're...
Will you two cut it out? This ain't the place for I don't know, petty squabbles.
If you don't want to get caught in it, then stay out of this, Zachary.
Oh no, Zach. Don't stop her. Let her say it. I'm sure she has plenty more to say. If I didn't know any better, she's already.
Already what? You want me to say it? Out loud? That I find you in this whole thing?
All right, that's enough! Everyone, shut up!
They all falter to silence at my words, and an awkward, stifling mood descends between us. I do not mean to shout, to snap at them, to add to that kindling. Not in a moment when any time, anywhere she might get to one of us. We're all in the same boat, yet here we are playing the blame game. Of course, because it's cliche and we had to throw it in. Little by little, we're falling apart, caving into pressure to this bleak situation we're trapped in. Did that ghost mean for this to happen, to divide each of us so she can pick us off one by one right after? Who knows? Anything's possible now if her kind can exist. With the fire burning between us rising as high as it does now, I'm afraid. Deathly afraid that the possibility might come sooner than I can figure all this out. Fuck, I still can't think straight. I can't even believe the next words coming out of my mouth. That out of everyone, I have to be the one saying these to them. This is more their forte than mine, keeping the peace, placating everyone while I unintentionally aggravate people with badly chosen words. However, how fast the tables have been turned after just one unfortunate incident. How am I ever supposed to cope?
If we all want to get out of this mess in one piece, we're gonna have to cool our heads first.
Where my own tempers flare, I walk away and slide back into my car. If the door slams with more force than needed, I'd like to blame it on the pent-up anger boiling up in me. I'm not even sure who or what I'm angry at. The ghost, at them, maybe at myself for being this useless? Because despite none of them saying it, I know, god damn it. They're still counting on me. I think you just think they are. In spite of my failures or every harsh word I've uttered, or how unbearable I can be at my friends. It's there when the tension after the argument finally breaks, and one by one, they follow me and get in the car. It's in concerned glance that they shoot my way when I start the engine without a word and drive off. It's in their silence, a heavy gift, their unwavering trust. Yet, it's one I'm more than willing to carry, even though my own exhaustion, if only to keep them safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, they're the only ones I have left. Though in all seriousness, a good rest is still our best bet for now. Thinking with an exhausted brain is almost as good as running around in circles. We might as well just throw ourselves at the ghost and be done with this. The local Irish pub may not be the best place to hang around when one hasn't slept a wink or you're stressed more often than not, it's loud. I'm gonna do like 20 more minutes of this, and if the story hasn't ended by then, I have to take a break because I need to go get food and I have work tonight. Some of the music played by the drunkards grates the ears, and the whole place smells like piss on a bad day. All in all, the very definition of the last place I'll hang around after a wakeful night, but it's safe. Or as safe as it can be with G's security watching the place. Makes it easy to find help in case you find yourself in a tight spot. The place being owned by a person I've implicitly placed my trust on provides some semblance of comfort too. Gregor, the bartender G, or just G to his regular patrons, might be rough around the edges. Sometimes a bit too gruff for a man serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folk of this city. If there's anything in this place I can rail on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well, surprisingly, despite his surly demeanor. Cares to some extent for people he likely only sees once or twice a week or on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine, there is truth. Alcohol, in this case. It loosens the tongue, forces one to let his or her guard down. Whatever inhibitions anyone has, it flies straight out the window after a few glasses. It has made him observant too. Always has one or two things to say about something or someone. Most of the time it's me, opinionated ass. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help, when I've met with a dead end or a case I'm troubled. This time is no different. As expected the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us room at the back of his shop. A single look on my face, I don't even know to say anything, and the next thing we know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for his reason why I find myself drifting towards his station hours later, after having gotten that much needed shut-eye. Newly washed drinking glasses and tumblers line the counter surface when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G's busy wiping each of them clean, likely prepping it for tonight's use. Briefly, he glanced up at me once I claim one of the many empty stools and grab a rocks glass sitting closest to my elbow. Turning it absentmindedly in my palm just to keep my hand occupied while my brain's busy, still trying to make sense of everything. Even at a dead hour, with only a few patrons milling about, this place still smells strongly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it. Regardless of how many times I've made a trip or sat here on the same spot just talking with the old man. I've never been fond of drinking in the first place, yet oddly it's the nasty odor of brewery that helps keep clear the mind this time, along with the lack of an established usual hubbub and the occasional clinking of glasses. Even more bizarre than that, through my lack of words, G doesn't say anything, although it's clear from the way his mouth is curved up in a tight frown that he has questions, a bucket load at that. He wisely keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focuses back on his work, rinse, wipe, stash away, repeat. Going through the motions with such familiarity, it's almost a trance. Watching his precise movements quietly like this, with these thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. Impossible way to sort this out. But, will it work? Especially if my assumption is correct and that the reason Zach was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Something must have happened there for him to see the need to visit the place that morning. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse too? It doesn't fall outside the realm of possibility. I've been so biased not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. But during the open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and... fuck.
Stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
That's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away. And if there are answers anywhere, it would be there. It should be there, where all this fucking mess started. It's not only my life on the line there. There are others as well. What happened to us, I won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them, or how complicated all of this has suddenly become. The letter, the woman, the mansion. And now there are voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head, murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride whenever an opportunity presents itself.
It's because you didn't listen.
It's all your fault. Why won't you believe me?
A reminder of what I failed to do and who I failed. At some point, they all begin to blur together, twining and coiling. Every horrid image in the memory of her seeking the forefront of my mind. No matter how much I refuse to remember the fear I felt then, to push it as far back as I can, the vision comes to me like a deluge. And before I know it, before I can drown, another voice pulls me out of it.
Doing good there, boy.
His hand is on my shoulder, gripping it tightly and giving me a light shake. There's relief in his face when I finally look up at him, although his frown appears more distinct than the concern in his eyes. It's deeper now, marred with worry and agitation. He does let go when I offer him a small nod, but the furrowing between his eyebrow never leaves his face. He always has a knack for reading people. After all, even someone who can be as closed off and distant like me. They could have at least made him look different than the inspector if he's not supposed to be the inspector, but they have the same voice. In all this time I've spent this force, there's only one other person who's as keen as this old guy, the chief. Funny and weird to some degree. I pointed out to him so many times before how much they look alike, only for their observation to be brushed off with a vehement tone. Maybe it is him! And I brought it up again after the third time, out of respect for the guy, whatever it is. It's clear it's something he doesn't want to talk about. Oh, they're twins, probably. Well, I push, right? However, during times like this, it's impossible for the thought not to come up. He even has a glare down pat. Under his wordless scrutiny, I feel like a damn rookie.
You're looking
again.
a bit green. Sure you got plenty of rest back there? You were only out for an hour or two. Wouldn't hurt to try and get some sleep. I'll keep an eye out.
No need. Don't worry about me. I won't be able to get some sleep anyway.
Now with her face still as clear a picture in my head, no.
I heard that from you before. Not buying it. What's the story this time? This as bad as that case with the guy who ate his own eyeball?
I wish it were. Jesus, stop reminding me. I hated that case. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you get a kick out of telling people about it.
It's useful, you know, for blokes who don't know their limits. Sends them right out the door after I start with a description. Or was it the part when the poor schmuck gouged his eyes out? Nasty, awful, icky stuff, and it gets the job done. Like I said, useful. Don't even need to call security these days if I want to kick someone out. Anyway, pretty sure that pales in comparison to whatever this is now. I haven't seen you this stressed out since I closed that case. The one from 10 years ago with your professor friend.
Abigail and her team weren't able to solve that one, G. No one has been able to. It just went cold.
Same difference. But what do I know, eh? I just serve drinks, listen to people's problems and their whining, then make sure they get home safe afterwards. Thing is, I'm also not blind, kiddo. And you can bet your ass I can tell when a person's about to fall apart.
What? Is this some form of therapy from you? Are you going to offer me free drinks now?
Really, I can use some right now, something to numb the senses. But when has that helped anyone?
In your dreams, kid. Last time someone gave you the hard stuff, your photographer friend had to haul you out of this place almost half naked.
Hey, I can handle my liquor when I put my mind to it.
Not from what I've seen, nope. Besides, you usually avoid drinking. Either way, it's out of the equation. And when booze no longer counts, we just talk. So, talk. It's not like anyone within earshot will care. That chap over there only wants his cricket matches.
I doubt you believe it, G.
I've heard worse stuff.
You know that mansion down at Anslem?
Yeah, who doesn't? You live in this town long enough, it's impossible not to hear a thing or two about it. Bloody locals.
Well, my friend found a primitive version of a chain letter in there. Now that we've seen it, we're cursed.
A beat passes. For a long moment, G stands there, unmoving. His hand stopped short of placing the glass he's been wiping prior back to the rack on his left. All he stares at me with eyes that are nothing short of scrutinizing. You're probably assuming I'm joking. Who wouldn't? Not a week ago, I'd been put into the same position. Even now, in spite of things I've seen and heard, it simply won't sink in. Or maybe this is the desperation creeping in, the idea that I may not be able to find a way out of this. Whatever the case is, for people who hasn't experienced what I'm going through, merely sounds like an awful Halloween prank.
It's not a prank.
This must have been what Isabella felt the whole time we made fun of her that day.
This isn't a prank. I saw.
Now it's too late. We're in a stuck and never-ending nightmare where only way out might be death. And like I've expected, G's reacting to it in amused laughter. It booms throughout the whole pub after a long bout of silence, like I've just told him a pretty funny joke.
You don't want to spill. No one's forcing you. Seriously, though. Good one.
Although I want to be angry with him, I can't find it in myself, can't even muster the angry energy for a scowl or glare. Nothing but a taste of my own medicine to temper the annoyance bubbling up in me, I suppose. In the end, echoing her words is the best I can do.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, all right. Good luck with that. You're on your own. Here I thought you didn't have an ounce of humor in that body. Guess I'm wrong.
He shakes his head, lets out another chuckle before returning to his task. By now, almost half the glasses I have been put away. The only ones remains are the smaller ones used for shots and stemmed ones for cocktails. Despite being busy with his task, his amusement does not entirely disappear from his face. He keeps talking as if I'm simply another customer he entertains with the stories. But we both know it's more than that, if the wistful expressions on him say anything.
Man, can't believe you're the same rookie who walked in here almost a decade ago. Too smart for his own good, that boy. Has always been 2 steps ahead of things. Now he's here, sulking.
I must have screwed up somewhere then.
Must have screwed up a lot. For things to suddenly shift like this, for me to become a mere shadow of the person I used to be.
No, I don't think so. This one, screwed up? Not by a mile. It's too early to say. You've still got several years ahead of you, Holmes. Take it easy. But some things change, eh? It has been years, and you were a kid back then. You know, the sort that's a bit unsure, making all the horrible decisions in life he'd eventually be embarrassed to talk about.
You never stop calling me kid, though.
Well, you still are. It's just that this time, you're sure of who that badge and gun is for. What was it you police types usually say? To protect and serve, yeah?
A significant pause follows at its heels. From both of us as he allows its meaning to sink in and spur something in me. Stirring the feeling both heavy and forceful, but not completely unwelcome. Familiar. Though before I can even clarify what he's trying to imply or gather my thoughts on the matter, G turns away to begin work on the silverware. He'll need those too, once more of the patrons come in for lunch. Slow and easy, a sharp contrast with the strained air we've been wading through the past weeks. A fleeting moment, but one I allow myself to relish, if only because of its absence lately. The way things are now is almost a gift, so when it all ends with a loud shuffling of foots from the adjacent hallway, a sigh is all that leaves me. There's no need for me to look up to know who it is. Zach's threads alone are telling. They're always weighted set to them, steps that are taken with lazy cadence. Like he's always trying to make himself smaller, less conspicuous than he actually is. In a place he's unfamiliar with, he also tends to linger or stand awkwardly at the sides, as if he's all too afraid to break something. That, or he's waiting for a mission of some kind. Either way, he's never been the kind to barrel headfirst into anything or forgo courtesy despite appearances. Much like how Rebecca's mother Henning bellies her fiery temper, or Isabella's rare display of maturity appears at odds with her youth. There has been a lot of those in my life, it seems, more so from the people I've grown closer to over the years. Walking contradictions, we all are. It's a wonder how we ended up as friends in the first place. But maybe that's also exactly why, to some extent, there's still an understanding in there, in knowing that no matter how long you've been put together, or how familiar you are with a person's habits, or how many lifetimes there might be for all of you, one can never fully know a person. Sometimes it works because they merely chose to stay. Sometimes it's as simple as someone extending a hand first for an apology regardless of every hurtful word said.
Hey, Ash?
Let's save real quick. And then I'm just gonna quickly figure out how long this is. Okay, it's not gonna let me. So let me just do this real quick.
Huh? What's that? For I'm
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and load. Okay, so I am going to stop there because it feels like this is going to go on for a bit longer and I don't really have the time or the energy to do it. So we'll catch up with this one when I am back a different day.